Hello everybody, Sven2k here and welcome to 1 vs 1 Daily. I am no longer going to record gameplay footage while actually playing. I'm going to use pre-recorded footage. When I record during gameplay, I have to limit myself to only 30 frames per second, which is quite painful when you're playing a game like Dota, so I really want those 60 frames per second, so yeah. Sorry about that. But this way I guess I can analyze the game a bit more, so it's probably going to be a bit more useful for you guys. So Winter Wyvern, she was recently added to Dota 2. She was added in the latest patch. She is a Dota 1 hero. She was sadly ported with no buffs, however. Now, she isn't a bad hero per se, but how I say this, she is more of a utility hero. Position free with who can help out quite well in lane, is good versus some matchups, and is pretty good in team fights. However, she has no 1 vs 1 direct strengths. Now, her abilities are Arctic Burn, Splinter Blast, Cold Embrace, and Winter's Curse, all which are active. Her first ability, Arctic Burn, basically grants her additional attack range. It grants her flying movement, but no flying vision. It grants her 400 night vision, which is pretty good, since it synergizes with your second ability, which I'll talk about in a second. And it also applies a debuff on attack. Oh, and it also slows, my bad. It also slows for a pretty good percentage. Now, the debuff deals damage over time to the target based on their current health points, 6% of their current HP. The thing about that is that it cannot be refreshed by attacking the same unit again. Once you attack it, the buff is applied and that's it. So it's better if you just attack multiple targets. That's why she is more of a team-oriented hero, where her abilities are concentrated on dealing damage to multiple targets instead of only one, though I kind of will contradict myself when I mention her ultimate. But yeah, it's good to have Arctic Burn level 1 in general, in some cases, just so you can use it in an escape mechanism. Now, once you use it, unlike Batrider, it will not destroy trees. Now, in middle lane, it's not going to be incredibly useful for me. I just leveled it up in case he pushed extremely well and I needed a way to last hit. But that wasn't the case. But in general, like if you're like bottom lane, it's or something like that. If you're like something like here, and the enemy is going to gank you, you just pop up your Arctic Burn and fly into the trees. They won't be able to deal. They won't be able to do pretty much anything versus that. So it's a very good escape mechanism in the side lanes, but in the middle lane, unless you're like exactly near the tower, it's not that useful. But even then, yeah. Your second ability is Splinter Blast. You saw it several times. I did it once again here. You cast it on an enemy and it shoots out projectiles towards other enemies. Now, those projectiles do pretty good damage and slow the targets, but your main target is neither slowed nor damaged. Yep, there's Splinter Blast again. Sorry about that. It's a pretty spammable ability with only 7 seconds cooldown, but it has a pretty big mana cost, so you have to be pretty careful with how you use it. Which is why Winter Wyvern isn't a very good position 5 support, simply because her abilities have too big of a mana cost in order to be used efficiently, and yeah, you definitely need some items in order to be useful. Unless Iceberg decides to buff her base intelligence and intelligence gain to Phantom Lancer level 4.2 or Phantom Lancer. Yeah. But anyway, Splinter Blast is pretty good. Now, even though it may sound pretty bad right now, it has a 1200 casting range, which is pretty damn huge. You can cast it from a very big distance and snipe an enemy who is running away and is near some creeps. Granted, you need vision, of course, but in case you're like chasing the enemy during night, Arctic Burn does help out a bit with that. Also, it has a 500 AoE blast radius, so let me yeah, it's not all that easy to avoid it if you cast it from the right range. Now, the projectile has, if I remember correctly, 500 base travel speed, or reaches the target during, like, the projectile of Splinter Blast has a 500 movement speed, or it takes a maximum of 1.35 seconds to reach the target. So if you're casting it at a closer range, the enemy may actually be able to avoid it simply because they'll see it. But if you're casting it from a very far away, they only see the projectile, which will travel extremely fast, and they won't be able to avoid it. Now versus Bane, right now I'm doing pretty damn good. Initially I thought I would do extremely bad versus him, but thanks to Splinter Blast I am able to have a pretty good lane advantage. I'm pushing out the lane extremely well, getting most or even like both runes, and he isn't able to do much versus me. I also have a magic stick, which I'll make into a magic one in case he ganks me, and I'm going to make a hood. So yeah, he tries to gank me right now. Not very efficient. I'm just going to pop my magic stick just in case, although I really didn't have to, kind of a waste in my opinion. And yeah, I survived. He didn't calculate his stuff very well, and yeah. I'm also like gonna make a hood, and that's going to negate his damage by quite a lot. He's going to be very, very sad. His ultimate is going to do very little damage. He's making a Dagon, so he's going to do very little damage through it as well. Brain Sap dealt pure damage, but it's okay. It's only 300 damage, and I'm going to make also a Rod of Athos, so I'm not very worried about that. So right now I'm just slowly pushing out. I'm not going to focus on the tower all that much right now. I just want to get like at least 2 last hits, push out the wave so I can get my runes again, keep him under pressure, and maybe chip out slightly of the tower. But I just want to get my main items first before I actually risk doing anything. I think, not sure, I think yeah, I just disabled, I mean just stop my recording and stuff like that. There. Miscalculated here, could have gotten 2 last hits additionally, which is quite bad. Right. So let's move on to his next ability, Code Embrace. Now that's a pretty cool ability. Basically it completely disables your movement, attacking, and etc. You can't do anything for 4 seconds. Was it 4? Yeah, 4 seconds. It heals you for a flat amount of 20 health points per second, and regenerates you for, at level 4, 6% of your max HP, or was it current HP? Let's see, yeah, based on your maximum HP, so it scales with your level. Also when leveling it up, it reduces the cooldown by 1 second, which isn't that much of a big deal, to be honest. Yeah, as you can see I'm harassing him quite nicely. So it's good to have only 1 level of this ability early on, since you don't need all that many levels of it. I'm sorry for talking so fast, I'm in the middle of a rush. Let's see. Yeah, pretty good mana cost, etc. Blah blah blah. You don't need levels of it simply because it scales with your HP and the level of the heroes. So yeah, I could have probably killed him if I was a bit more aggressive, though he could have like just backed off, like you saw there, brain sapped me, and if I was too greedy, Fiends gripped me on the tower and that would have just destroyed me instantly. So I just didn't want to risk it. So I just got my hood right now. That's going to boost my effective hit points by quite a bit. Let's see, magic resistance to 36%, quite nice. your... Oh yeah, by the way, Winter's Curse also provides you with physical damage immunity, which is extremely good versus some heroes. Now, late game versus carries, that's extremely good. If you're versus burst damage heroes, that's extremely bad since you're disabled and the ability just screams, please nuke me. I'm just like slowly healing target who is disabled for 4 seconds, please use all your abilities on me. But if you're versus carries who actually don't have that, I screwed up there, yeah, it's pretty good versus them. Now your ultimate is pretty much what actually makes you a worthwhile mid hero. Now I don't support Winter Wyvern as a mid hero all that much, since, well, she's not that good versus low lineups, and yeah, they're just simply better heroes. However, the reason why you may want to have her as a mid is to get Winter's Curse, her ultimate, as soon as possible. Now what it does is, it stuns the target for 3 seconds at level 3, or 2.5 at level 1. It doesn't have a projectile, it cannot be dodged. It has a casting range of, let's see, does it say here? No, it doesn't. I think it has like 600 or 700 maybe, or I think it was even bigger. Or something like that. Of a casting range, which is quite nice. It goes through magic immunity. That's the most important part. If you're like versus heroes who rush BKB immediately, or you're versus a lifestealer or a juggernaut, and you need that secure disable, which goes through magic immunity, Winter Wyvern, middle lane, so he can get level 6 as soon as possible, is actually pretty damn good. The ability has a mana cost of only 250, which stays like this throughout the whole game, which is quite nice. Now it is pretty big, but granted your the mana cost of your other abilities, yeah, you will be spamming spending all your money on mana items anyway. So the other thing about Winter's Curse is that it works like Berserker's Call. The stunned unit, units around the stunned target will begin attacking it. So it's pretty damn good if you, let's say, use it on support, which is near a carry. The carry will absolutely destroy the support if it's during the late game. And if the support was a position 5, it's pretty damn good in those cases. However, the AoE is pretty damn small, 350. Now, it's not incredibly small, to be honest, since other abilities have a similar AoE, but still. You do need some proper positioning on your allies' part. You need to make sure that the enemy stays as close as possible, so your team should also probably not spread all that much, or just try to focus them all in one point. And abilities like Enigma's Black Hole and Vacuum synergize with this ability greatly. Now you should never use this during Black Hole. That's a huge mistake. You should use it as a follow-up to Black Hole. Not only will units already be way too close to each other, so you can catch all of them, but yeah, you're just going to waste a very good 3-second AoE disable for absolutely nothing. Now keep in mind that the Berserker's Call effect on the ultimate doesn't work on magic immune enemies. So if they have magic immunity, they won't be attracted, they won't be forced to attack the main target. If I'm not mistaken, I think it worked that way. I could be wrong, but I think it worked that way. So yeah. So I have my hood right now, and I'm no longer worried about him dealing all that much damage to me. Hood heals me for a pretty good amount. I'm managing to get all of the runes, so I have my mana covered, and I'm pushing out slowly but surely. He is starting to get desperate, so he is using Nightmare on me, just so he can prevent me from right-clicking the tower. At one point I'm also going to kill him, which is a bit surprising, since I didn't expect him to actually give me the opportunity to do that, but once I get my Atos, things are going to be quite good for me. I'll have the HP, the right-click damage, and everything. By the way, don't level up, don't play Oracle. Still thinking about that guy. Don't play Winter Wyvern as a right clicker. It's simply not worth it. If you play her as a gimmicky sniper with your first ability Arctic Burn, it's simply not going to work. Like I said, the debuff isn't refreshed. The slow is refreshed, but yeah, you're not going to be able to do it that much. Stat wise, she doesn't stat wise, she's just cannot compare. Just noticed. Look at how her profile, her little image in the minimap looks. Doesn't it kind of remind you of Phantom Lancer? I don't know, it kind of looks like Phantom Lancer to me. Right, I'm sending my courier. Yep, give me that vitality booster, little courier. Just wanted to waste my mana here so I can use up the regen rune and not be worried about wasting it. I'm going to use it in a second so I can use a free Splinter Blast and a free Arctic Burn. Let's see. Yeah, now Bane finally has his dagger. He's going to try and gank me again soon, but he sadly won't be able to do much versus me. Again. That hood and vitality booster definitely saved my life and prevented him from doing anything. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but every time he tries to brain sap me, just for the sake of it, of doing any kind of damage to me, it gives me a free magic wand charge. And since I regenerate health points quite easily thanks to Hood, Bordeaux and those leftover tangles, I'm simply not worried about that harassment. I have a pretty good time versus him. As you saw there, with the mana I could have actually even ulted him and used Arctic Burn to do some pretty good right click damage, and if he went to the creeps I could have just used Splinter Blast to finish him off, but at the time I didn't want to risk it, just wanted to play it safe, so yeah. If I did that I may have actually won through 2 kills, which is kind of funny, but yeah. I fucked up a few blast hits here, but whatever. So, how should you build Winter Wyvern? Well, I built the hood specifically for Bane. Now, hood is an optional item and it always depends on the game you're playing in. So, if you cannot generally afford it, you shouldn't rush it. This is not a core item for Winter Wyvern, it's simply because I'm playing versus a Bane. Now, as for Athos is actually pretty damn good on Winter Wyvern. It provides you with good maximum HP, which is pretty good since it synergizes with your Cold Embrace. The additional, the intelligence provides you with some good mana and right click damage, so you can benefit a bit more from your Arctic Burn, which is nice. Additionally, the slow from Athos is pretty good since your slows aren't as secure. Now, Arctic Burn has a very long cooldown. At level 1 it's 50 seconds, and at level 4, at level 4 it's 20 seconds. So yeah, that's pretty damn big, and for its slow, for its small duration of only 6 seconds, it's not all that efficient as a guaranteed slow. Now, Splinter Blast, you always need to have at least one more enemy nearby, and you need to be close to each other, so again, it's not very secure. You don't want to waste your Winter's Curse, since it has a 70-second cooldown at level 3 and 90-second cooldown at level 1, so again, you're going to be wasting your abilities. So Athos provides you with a secure slow, which is pretty nice, and it removes Lincolns. Winter's Curse is blocked by Lincolns, so you do need a way to actually break the Lincolns. So by using Athos on the enemy who has Lincolns, you break their barrier and just use your ultimate on them, and everything's going to be fine. So in general, I highly advise getting Athos on Winter Wyvern. It's pretty damn good on him. I also highly advise Shivas or Veil of Discord. You do some pretty good AoE damage. Splinter Blast is spammable, so Veil is pretty damn efficient on you. The problem is that you don't have all that much mana. If I'm not mistaken, Veil had a 100 mana cost, or it had a 50 mana cost. I'm going to lie to you here, but yeah, depending on what you need, like higher, like more armor and more base mana, you may want to get either Shiva's or Veil. But if your allies also do some good magical damage, you definitely should go for a Veil. Yeah, as you can see, he no longer can kill me. Anyway, I pretty easily escaped even without the haste. I was pretty much secure to live that. And level 2 Dagon, it's gonna take him quite a bit to reach level 3, so not worried at all. Just gonna grab my EX room, and everything's going to be fine. Yeah, his tower is now below 50%, which is great. Now, other items on Winter Wyvern. Now, I would like to suggest that maybe Tranquil Boots should be picked up. Tranquil Boots because base regen isn't amazing. You don't want to rely mainly on Cauldron Embrace to heal yourself. You should save it up for your allies, so definitely keep that in mind. The other thing is that even when broken, Tranquil Boots also provide you with armor, which is quite necessary for you. And the other thing is that you can combo the Tranquil Boots with a Soul Ring. And yeah, use Soul Ring, spam Splinter Blast, and with a passive regen of Soul Ring, you can just like use Cold Embrace from time to time, or just heal up with the Tranquil Boots. So that's a pretty good combo you can do. Again, something not a position 5 can all that easily afford for himself, at least early on. So if you're a position like 3, you can easily get that money, so definitely go for that. You may also want to go for Arcane Boots and just go for like Bloodstone later on, so you can have like a lot more base mana and base HP, which is quite nice. Yeah, I'm not very worried about this. I knew I was a bit too greedy, but still, he can't do anything to me. He can't do absolutely anything to me. Just good to use. That again, and yeah, look at him. No HP, no mana. I'm full on HP, almost full on mana, and I'm going to kill him here. Yeah, he should have backed off a lot sooner. Gonna use my Athos, and boom. There's the kill. Now I am soon going to destroy the tower, and boom. The game is finished. Now, doubt. I have no idea what that means. Probably raging. So yeah, Magic Stick, Arcane Boots or Tranquil Boots combined with a Soul Ring, Roll of Athos, Shiva's or Veil of Discord. Yeah, your basic items like Shiva's and Pipe are pretty good. Use Scepter of Divinity is actually very good, since your base movement speed is very low, so that's pretty damn good. You may want to get a Force Staff. I'm not sure. Yeah, he said GG, the game is going to end soon. I'm not sure if trees are still destroyed when you use Force Staff during Arctic Burn. I should test that out. But if trees are not destroyed when you use Arctic Burn and then use Force Staff, that means that you can quite easily save your ass with some pretty easy Arctic Burn to Force Staff into trees combos. Like, for example, if Bane, like I'm here and Bane is coming for me, I can just use Arctic Burn, Force Staff myself into the trees, he'll lose vision of me, and I'll be completely safe from him. So that's going to be extremely good, but still I need to test it out to be 100% sure that it works that way. Now, Mechanism, I'm not sure if I recommend Mechanism. It's added into the recommended items, but The thing is that Mechanism has a pretty big mana cost and you're not all that mana efficient. I think some other hero would be better to have that. The other thing is that Winter Wyvern is also going to be quite far away from most of the fights. Like I said, Splinter Blast has a pretty big casting range, Arctic Burn also provides you with pretty big range. You pretty much just need to get into the fight, mostly to heal up your allies and to cast Winter's Curse, but in the case for healing your allies, they can just back off to you. So again, it's I'm not sure if Mech is going to be all that of a efficient pickup on you. So I think some other heroes should definitely pick it up instead of you. Now, I said it for boots, Tranquil and Arcane are the best choices, but I think Phase boots are also going to be pretty damn good simply because they provide you with pretty good movement speed and allow you to harass the enemy a bit more. Like, if you get a pretty good lane advantage, you're playing solo mid or solo off lane and the enemy is doing actually pretty bad, you can go for a pretty aggressive build and go for like Phase boots and or something big. That's going to work out pretty nicely for you. And like for the Tranquil boots, Soaring combo, yeah, you can just follow that up with a Bloodstone. It's going to be pretty nice for providing you with health points, mana points, but still. You have to keep in mind that you don't have a lot of armor, so carries are absolutely going to destroy you if Cold Embrace is off cooldown, or if you're just alone in general. Now, let's see, yeah, Blink is pretty good, so you can land an easy Winter's Curse. You don't want to be, you don't want to miss out on a fight and not use it. It's going to be pretty inefficient out of you not to do that. I do not recommend Orchid all that much. Sure, it provides enough regen, silence is great, but I'm not sure. Unless your team really depends on the Lincolns, then don't get it. Like, if you need it just to silence some squishy supports, then sure, but in general I think you should just go for a Sacrifice. The disable is pretty damn important, especially versus carries. Like, if you are attacked by a carry who pops up a BKB, you can use Winter Curse to waste a bit of the duration of the BKB and then immediately use Cypher Vice, and yeah, it's going to screw up the carry quite a bit. Even more so if you have a Rexar who can also pierce BKB with his ultimate. Lastly, the general way you should skill Winter Wyvern. As an escape mechanism, I still think Arctic Burn is a lot more important. In cases where you have to gank an enemy, like if you're experimenting with a dual or tri-lane, it's going to provide you with a bit more DPS and opportunities to kill the enemy, so I think you should definitely go for that. Provides with an escape mechanism, not sure if I mentioned that already, probably did it 5,000 times. However, Splinter Blast should be maxed out. You should generally just go for Arctic Burn, Splinter Blast, Cold Embrace, then max out Splinter Blast, like level up your ultimate when you have the chance, and then just go for Arctic Burn. However, in cases where you've taken damage, or your ally has taken damage, or you're just not very safe about your lane, you can go Arctic Burn, Cold Embrace, and then start maxing out Splinter Blast. Now in this game I also leveled up, I think, several times my stats instead of Cold Embrace. That's simply because I didn't use it at all, and I prefer to have additional health points, damage, and mana instead of leveling up an ability which I won't use. So don't do that. You should definitely max out Cold Embrace after your other abilities, since its mana cost is stationary and you don't have to worry about that. And I think I covered about everything. Yeah, Winter Wyvern, he's a pretty damn good hero. You shouldn't go with him, but like versus some heroes like Winter Wyvern is absolutely terrible versus Shadow Fiend. It's a 1-9 matchup, or I'd even go as far and say 0-10 matchup, because Shadow Fiend just has such a great lane advantage over you. Poke is also pretty damn good versus you, since he can very easily dodge Splinter Blast. You just have to spam Splinter Blast onto him so you can push out the creeps instead of actually cast on a creep and harass him as well. So, yeah, so that's going to be pretty bad. So Poke, if you see Poke, Shadow Fiend, definitely avoid going middle lane. I haven't played versus the Queen of Bane, but I can imagine that she's going to absolutely destroy you, since she does a lot of magical damage and you're pretty damn slow already. So once she slows you, Scream of Banes you and uses her ult, you're pretty much dead, even if she just uses a few right clicks. So those are 3 heroes you should avoid, but like you saw the case here versus Bane, or maybe versus Rexar, or some other heroes who may go middle lane, or like right click dependent, you may actually have a pretty good time versus them. So give it a try, and yeah, tell me in the comment section how your games went, share your replays, and thank you very much for watching. See you guys next time.